Paint some doors. What's up, fellow crafters and terrain builders? I'm the Dungeon Master, back with another video. This episode, I'm going to show you how I made these doors out of popsicle sticks and coffee stir sticks. Stick around, let's go get our hands dirty. Okay, so we have a finished door here. You can see the banding on the bottom and top, and the hinges on the sides are made from cereal box cardboard. We're going to have to cut out some pieces of coffee stirrers and popsicle sticks in order to make the frame and the slats of the door, as well as the details. You can see I'm pointing out the details here at the banding, the top and the hinges, top and the bottom and the hinges. Here I'm just measuring out 2-inch long sections of coffee stirrer, cutting them with my small clippers, my flush cut clippers. I'm going to need 5 of these for each door. Since I'm making 3, we're going to have 15 of these pieces. And I'm going to save any cutoffs that are left over for the bands on the top and the bottom. And I'm going to need small 1/4-inch sections, or in this case 3/16 by 1/4-inch sections, because each stir stick is 3/16 of an inch wide. And those are going to be the latches on either side of the door. Whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other, unless you're going to glue the door to a face of a building or something. And now I'm going to tape them to my cutting mat, because it'll make gluing the details on a lot easier. I'll start with the banding on the top and the bottom, and that will keep the doors together while I glue on the rest of the items. I'm just using some super glue gel here, going right across the top, right across the bottom. They stuck to my cutting mat a little bit, so I'm popping them off with my hobby knife. And here you can see I have the hinges, I have the latches, and I have the banding on the top and the bottom. I'm going to take my scribe and etch deeper wood grain into them. Here you can see the finished door, how I did that, and it looks wonderful. I'm just going to go in pretty tough. I don't want to push so hard that I break the stir stick or push through it, because then I'll split it, and that would break the whole thing apart. But I do want to add the detail. And that's I'm pointing out the spaces where I'm going to put the glitter later on that I'm going to use for the bolts and the rivets. And here I just brushed off a little bit of the fuzz that got lifted up off the wood with the scribe. I'll take my tweezers and dip them in a small bit of super glue to get the small pieces of glitter to stick to the tip, and then I'll push them down on top of a bead of super glue that I have for the detail. 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom, 3 for each hinge, and 1 on the latch for each side of the door. This did take me a while, but it was worth it in the end, and it was a hell of a lot easier than using push pins, which I used on my prototype. Now I'm going to cut up some popsicle sticks, just using the door as a reference, and using this for the frame that will surround the door, sanding any portion of it that I think might be not level with it when I super glued it to the side. Repeat the same process for the other side, sanding as needed. And repeat the process for the top of the door. I actually put the first one on backwards by mistake, so make sure you're aware of which side you want to be your top before you do this step. And here they are. I used some tongue depressor or paint stirrers for the bases, and now I'm going to paint them up. I black bombed them using some black spray paint, and I'm painting them using a mixture of a burnt umber and yellow in 2 different shades. One of them has less yellow and the other has more. And I felt that this gave it a nice aged look, especially after I hit it with a wash. Here I'm going into my lighter color, and I'm going to dry brush it onto the face of the door and around the frame. It doesn't matter that I'm going over the banding, which will eventually be a metal color. They're going to get painted over. And dry brushing, it won't take forever to dry. Here I'm just going to use a gunmetal gray to hit up the details on the door, the banding, the hinges, and the latches. I hit them with a brown wash, which ended up pooling at the bottom, so I just used a Q-tip to sop it up. You can use a paper towel too. I just happen to have these on the side. I washed the wood in brown, and I ended up washing the metal details with black. I felt it helped them stand out far better. Then I went up around the frame with some khaki, a lighter brown, which I would use to highlight stone. It worked really well for this. I used the same color on my tower video. Here I'm using jewelry rings that I got from Michael's, and these are going to be my latches. These rings are a little big for what I've been using them for, but they look pretty good, and they're a little bit more exaggerated. They're easier to notice. Put some super glue over the top of them to help with the bond. And then I just painted the base with some watered down black paint before sealing it with my favorite sealer, a Krylon matte finish. And here they are on the game table. They look really awesome. They fit the light perfectly, and the miniatures look really nice next to them, along with all my other Hearst Arts molds and objects. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, leave a comment. Don't forget to hit the like button below if you found my videos useful. If you're not already a subscriber, please do. I'd love to have you. Also, don't forget to check out my other videos. I post a new episode every other Sunday. Hope to see you around the table. Bye for now.